Hello and welcome everybody to Trigger against Cham. We are in the RSL group stage in the lower bracket of this group. And both players are fighting for their survival here in this group, in this tournament. It's the last best of 3. They will get, if they lose, if they win, they have to play a decider match. So they have still, each of them still has potentially 2 matches to play here. Trigger is gonna block the natural base from Cham. Cham is gonna take the forward base, which is interesting. You usually see the north base here taken, because you can make a line. Also, this one is kind of harassable. You can be aggressive from various angles, and there are actually air builds. Like, this is very open to Oracle attacks, or even a Tempest Rush could be an option here for Trigger. Which does actually is provided by Cham basically, which is interestingly enough. So he says, all right, man, we will go into that position and you can make air. Come on, I dare you. That's what he's saying to Trigger. Now, Trigger, is he gonna go for it? Is he gonna go for Tempest? Is he gonna go for Oracles? Oracles would be the standard, the absolute norm. It's basically like a surprise if you don't go Oracles at this point. That's where we're at, and yeah, we expect the Oracles to come around. Is it gonna be Tempest though? I don't think so. That's a little bit more of a cheesy play, quite a bit of a cheesy play actually. Why is that, you say? Well, that's basically because you are lacking so much firepower on the ground, so much flexibility, and if there's something like a muted transition or something coming ahead, which is very fast sometimes, you are not gonna be able to deal with that. But against Tempest, we usually see the Corruptors in the air. It's gonna be a normal adapt opening for now, and then the Stargate, of course, behind this should be Oracles. If I know my Trigger, he's not really the guy to go for some like Tempest shenanigans, even if the opportunity presents himself here, or itself, with that forward base. Cham, on the other hand, he can really do anything. It's like, I know he's more like a... used to be more a Roach Ravager guy, and recently he's playing a lot of Hydra styles into those Ultralisk styles. But like, he used to be a very Ravager focused player, very aggressive player, and in ZvZ specifically, he is a fond member of the MUTAS fan club. So I wouldn't hate to see something like that, like a one-off build here. Against Trigger, you know he has a Stargate, right? So why would you make MUTAS? Oh, because he's not gonna make a Phoenix. Adepts are gonna shade in. He's gonna kill 2, make it 3. That's decent for 2 Adepts. If he can get the 4th one, oh my god, barely. That was almost the 2nd shot. I saw it already inside the hand of that Adept, like she was already ready to throw out the last ball of energy. Link's coming in, the wall is open, no gateway there to block, no forge. There's gotta be a gateway in this case. The forge comes in a little bit later with the Twilight Council, of course. I gotta say, I always used to be a big fan of fast forge builds, just because you get that upgrade so fast. And I really like those in PvZ. It's just so much fun to play around with high upgraded units. Like, your units feel so powerful. And they're already quite powerful as Protoss, right? So yeah. Link's coming in here trying to kill the dead, but very nice pull there on the probes to keep that one safe. The last Link is killed in the main base, but he got a good scout. He sees the 2nd Oracle in production. He sees no fleet beacon, so there's not gonna be any fleet beacon anytime soon. It's not gonna be a Tempest Rush. And he can kind of just hunker down and say, alright, we just need to defend a few Oracles. We just need to defend that Blinker. Stalker Blink attack here. There's the Twilight Forge setup coming in here for Trigger. Oh, this is a good angle here. There's no defenses in place to kind of zone this out, and he snags 2 drones, gets out, only takes a little bit of damage. Roach Warren on the way though, a little bit hidden there, interesting location. We do have the lair also being morphed in. And that was actually seen. So that's interesting. He kind of threw that down as the oracles were there. Is he going to use it? First Evo chamber. If we only see one Evo chamber, I'd say yes. He might go for armor, but I'm kind of thinking missile attacks here. Man, that's some crazy damage here. Wants to be careful though with that oracle. 1 HP gets out. Very nicely done here by Trigger, who is on his 3rd base, very healthy. 4th base coming in for Cham. And a robotics facility. Oh, that's kind of fast. Maybe not. Maybe it's a standard-ish time in. So we're gonna see that Prism edition very soon. Could throw in a few mortals. He's gonna have Blink and +1 very soon. And as soon as he has that, he will pressure in this area. I'm pretty sure that's what they do. On the other side, okay, so we see the 2nd Evo chamber, and it's gonna be both attack upgrades here, which you see a lot from Zerg players these days in this matchup. Just because, like, Zealots are usually gonna 2-shot your links anyways. Even if you try to match them with Carapace upgrades. Carapace upgrades are more expensive. You have a glass cannon army anyways. You're fighting against, like, Archons and Storm potentially. So what good is gonna do Carapace on links? Not that much. You'd rather have the attack. They get in and they start to chew through those shields. That's a very decent defense so far. Only losing units, or trading units I should say. Ooh, can you get the oracle? No. Only trading units there. So definitely very, very nice here so far from Cham. Has to reinforce with a few more links. He's gonna morph a few Ravagers. This army feels like it's not really getting weaker from Cham. And there's the next link swing coming in. He also has the Baneling Nest now done. Oh, does not want to lose the Queens though. Kind of want to keep those alive at all times so you can kind of accumulate some and transfuse energy. Oh, that Stasis Trap Forest though could be dangerous. Oh, he almost ran with a bunch of roaches into that, and that would have been half the army frozen, and that would have been the opportunity that Trigger might have wanted to push through and potentially finish the game very fast here. So robotics facility number 2 on the way here, and we also have the robot support bay finishing up right now, a probe idling next to that. Trigger's gonna lose a few of his stalkers here. As he blinked on top of these links that came unfrozen. There's a bile on the stasis trap, so that was seen. That's good. Good for Cham here. Oh, he bites his own army. He runs into the own biles there. That was a lot of damage. +2 only for melee for now. Could go into Carapace. Wouldn't mind it, but he could also just go for +2 attack. He has the gas now. Let's see if he makes something with it. Yeah, 15 Banelings. Okay, and a couple of Ravagers. There we go. That's where the gas went. Another big stasis, potentially only 3 units. Just putting back in the perfect amount to just kind of minimize that damage dealt to his army. As it is not really damaged. Oh my god, we missed this, but there was a few Banelings running in here. That could have been the 17 Banelings who were morphed. And they killed the whole mineral line. Wow. What a perfect moment to strike. Zealots without charge still. And we do see double Colossi in production. That's gonna be interesting because there's no hive as of yet. It's only a layer, so there's no grabbables. There's no Vipers to try and pull those Colossi into the base. We do see another group of Banelings here making their way into the 3rd base, but it's actually not that probed up, so they're not going to be able to do that much damage. Now, Colossi are amazing against links. Oh, Microwave back into the Prism here. We do see the Banelings crashing into the next one. But that was actually a lot of Banes for very little probes, I have to say. Can Cham seesaw the action into the ball court of Trigger? I don't think he has enough firepower here, honestly, to kind of push through double Colossi, soon to be 3. There's the 3rd one. It's just, oh my god, that has a bad rally. It could come to bite him. We'll have to wait and see if Cham can capitalize on that mistake, that AI error. He finds the Colossi, and I think he's gonna get it. Oh no, Trigger must be kicking himself. That was a bad rally there. He's gonna lose that Colossi. He might lose the next one here as well. Banelings crashing into the Stalkers. They're actually on move commands, so this is like a little bit of a micro trick. If you ever wondered how you micro these Banes correctly in a war like this, you want to just move them. You don't want to actually attack them, because if you just move them and just brush them on the Stalkers shoot at them and then they kill them. So the Banelings do also tank for their health, right? Now in this case we do see the base get broken. Can he break the army though? There's still that one Colossi, 24 kills. He's gonna be very powerful after this fight, man. This guy, he's gonna have like... He's gonna be the biggest veteran in Protoss world. I mean, 9 kill Stalker, you're happy? No, bro. Look at me, 29 kill Colossi. 17 on that Oracle, that's also quite crazy. Seen a lot of fights. Now, Cham did break the base, but he did not transition. So he's still on lair. And he's kind of starting to cap on the upgrades, that's why we see the carapace right now. He actually could have gone into missile, which he never went to. He's only been on melee attack here, and oh, that double Oracle coming in. Snagging a bunch of drone. Oh my god! He loses one of the Oracles though. War Prism is gonna park over the Spore here. Nope. Does not want to be there, so we have the hatchery here on the right. That's the 5th one that he was able to push out during that battle, but he never really saturated that one, so it was just attacking units coming in here. Just another production facility and a space to occupy. Now he's starting to transfer some of the drones that were on patches that were mined out, basically, or like tripling down on patches, or quadrupling down. Yeah, and now the big army is gonna come into shove here. Trigger is fully out of minerals, like he's so dry. He needs like Archons, right? But he doesn't have the Temple Archives. The Disruptor Shot could be amazing. And we also did see the Banelings walk into this location here again. There's gonna be a few more even coming in. But the damage is already done. 26 probes have been fallen, the base has been reset. One Baneling to rule them all. Wow. And the freaking Colossus is 55 kills. Is he gonna go up to 60? Yes, indeed he does. He killed so many units. The efficiency of this guy is off the roof, and now he dies. Man, that was the hero unit that Trigger actually did not need, but had. Like, he needed more than just a hero unit. He needed a full army. And very well done by Cham. So extremely committed all in there on lair. Very aggressive Ling, Roach, Ravager, Baneling style. And those Baneling run-ins in those remote mineral lines. That was all he needed to kind of clear out that game. So, let me see if I can adjust my angle here so I can actually see the minimap a little bit better. Okay, so this is 1-0 for Cham, and Trigger in the bottom left here has to bring it back against this guy in the top right. Now Trigger is on his literal last leg. He has only one toe to try and crawl back into this game. Is he gonna be able to do it? I think he has the skill. Especially, like, even though Cham's a great player, this might not be his best matchup. It's definitely not his worst. That would be ZvT, and his best by far would be ZvZ. It's kind of crazy. He's like a ZvZ sniper at this point. But, yeah, like, Trigger in PvZ, he used to be extremely powerful. This used to be his matchup, and then he went to become a PvT god. And that's usually how things kind of roll, how the dice fall. Basically, you start out very good in one matchup eventually, and then you'll try to fix the other matchups, but that's when the meta shifts, and then you also shift in your skill set and decision making and pacing and tempo. Different matchups, completely different tempos. So eventually you'll become a more rounded player, but your specific super matchup is getting weaker, right? It's gonna be tougher to play that because you're becoming more of a complete player. But it also means your specific skill sets are gonna decrease a little bit. Because they might hinder you in the other matchups, right? So might want to focus on different things. Now this game, it is gonna be that Stargate again. Stargate again. Stargate again. There we go. Now, I really liked how Cham played that, and Trigger tried to be extremely efficient. What he didn't do well was basically deal with the counterattacks. He didn't really have any gateway walls. He did have few static D structures set up, I think. But that's not good enough. That's good enough against Ling run bys, but not against Baneling roll-ins. You need a wall. You need like units or something remote there. Like static D only does you so much because you don't exactly know the angle that the banelings are gonna come from. And if you don't have the vision, the French vision, to kind of pull your probes, then, well, you might just get wrecked, right? And that kind of happened to Trigger. He was so out of money, that was insane. He had like 50 minerals and 1,000 gas stacked at one point. And then Cham hit with wave number 3 or something. And eventually kill him. So 2 adepts are gonna come in here again. Very nice opening for Trigger. And he did have a good opening in the last, like the early stages of the mid-game, of the early game, the mid-game. They are really, really solid for Trigger. The harassment is working very nicely. He gets a lot of drones here and there. He doesn't really, he has to sacrifice that much for those. And Cham looks a little bit sloppy, a little bit flimsy in the early stages, right? Just like he did look last game. But then he kind of like into the mid-game, that's really where Cham is showing off his real true self. Where he's like, alright man, I have a frickin' sledgehammer now and you have to deal with that, right? So if he gets into that mid-game, I feel like Cham, that's really where he hits his stride and becomes like a super powered Zerg player. Pylon might fall down here, and even a cancel on the weapon would be nice. He's gonna not cancel the weapon, but he does get the Pylon. Loses all of the links though, but also does deplete some Oracle energy, which can be nice. So in total we have 5 drones, 10 links. Go down for 2 adepts and a pylon. Funny enough, the pylon. I always like it though, but because I mean, look at this: 61 out of 61 until just now. So that was a very huge supply block actually there for Trigger, missing that pylon. Sometimes these builds are very tight. We do have a couple of adepts inside the natural base here, again killing some drones and some links. Lair about to be done. 10 more drones here on the way, and the Roach Warren is gonna be ready in a moment. And we're starting to enter the... Oh my god, this would be a cancel. This is a cancel. This is a dead freaking cancel. He did not kill the drone though, funny enough. It's like a free drone, right? And he didn't commit to it. So he will commit for that Evo, and it's gonna cancel it again, and another... Yeah, so the delay was quite nice there on that hatchery. Spire! Oh, it's Aspire. He makes it kind of look like the same stuff from the earlier game, but then he goes into Spire behind his... The tail is only one Evo right now. If you would have thrown down a second Evo, I'd totally buy it. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna do the same Ling Ravager lair attack again on 67 drones, right? Yo. Actually, man, I made a Spire. I'm gonna YOLO some MUTAS into your face, and I'm gonna see how you want to defend that. Nice stasis trap on the links. There's not that many links, so he needs to be careful. Actually, a bunch of stalkers are joining in here, and there could be, if this reinforcement wave hits, then this army is going to be very formidable here. We do see 10 MUTAS on the way. This is like the weak point just before you get the MUTAS. You're stacking so much lava and money, which is not there in units right now. Oh man, he might die before he has the MUTAS. I can't believe it. Trigger's just pushing in without Blink right now, right? He's just pushing in with Stalkers. And he's gonna have Blink in a moment. +1 finishing up in a moment. But he hits so early. Now he finally has it. He can deny these upgrades. And Cham has to fight with the MUTAS. He has to show his hand. Which he doesn't really want to, but he needs to. And he might even lose a bunch of those. So all of that surprise momentum that he wanted to build up is not gonna be there for him. And the MUTAS are most likely going to be defended at home before they even make it across the map. You know what I mean? He's going to have defenses in place. He's throwing down shield batteries, photon cannons. Not over here, I guess. Needs to make the pylon first. He's making Phoenix. He's getting a second Stargate. He's like, all right, man, you make Phoenix. You want to make MUTAS against me? I, who am on the same team as team manager Mr. Roddy, Super Phoenix user himself. Yo, look at this. I can make Phoenix too. And Cham's kind of committed to the style now. Full on MUTA, but it's already such a good defense against this. Trigger's playing this quite nicely. Splitting his army in kind of two groups there, boxing the MUTAS a little bit. The Links are not really finding a target. And then the Phoenix tried poke in and hit those MUTAS there. Alright, we need to take a very small break. Alright, sorry, had to take a very small break, but we're gonna be back into the game here. And there is the fleet beacon even, Phoenix here, Phoenix production still going on. Now, the attempted transition from Cham, Infestation Pit, Hydra Den, he is not making any more MUTAS. He already lost a lot, 5 MUTAS, and he made 17, that's a third of your MUTAS almost gone. And he's trying, and you should cancel the +1 by the way for the MUTAS. Oh, the doors are open, the floodgates are here. The Link flood is coming in. Oh, that's a perfect position there for that Zealot. It's gonna have a good time. The cannon, like this, all the setup that was working against the MUTAS, the floodgates, they were open, but there was a trap. Look at the Zealot having 100 kills together with the cannon. The cannon is at 11 kills against those Zerglings, 12, 13, 14 effing kills, man. That frickin' cannon made short work of those Lings. And MUTAS trying to come in here. Did he cancel +1? No, he actually got it. Gotta say, that's a waste of money, man. You know, he's already making Phoenix. He should be going into that range as well. You're not gonna survive long with your MUTAS. And getting +1 doesn't really benefit any much. Like, if you're already trying to transition into Hydralisks, what are you gonna do with a +1, bro? Now Lurkaden on the way, Hive is on the way. Can Cham kind of manage to hang here in the late game, in the earlier stages of that late game, late mid game to early late game, try and be strong enough to kind of arm wrestle with Trigger for a while? Or is Trigger just gonna have a super strong push in a moment and just go across the map once he has enough energy stacked up on those Templars and just go and frickin' destroy? Phoenix are on the lookout for those MUTAS. Now on the hunt. If the Observer is gonna see that big Lurker transition. And Phoenix are not gonna be that terrible. He might want to make an Oracle again. He did lose all of the Oracles, so like getting an Oracle again for the tech would be great. Link's trying to come in, but again another warp in here. He's gonna deny that. No. He doesn't even try. Like, that's a trap. He knows it's a trap. And the MUTAS are committing now into the main base. They're not killing any probes, man. Oh, they killed the cannon. That's what the cannon was for. Oh my... Oh, bro. Double Nidus. Now we're talking. Double Nidus, bro. So Cham is gonna try to frickin' shove all the lurkers into the main base. The issue is he has no vision right now. There's literally no vision. Oh, there's a changeling. One changeling. He could make his way into the main base. He could be the sneaker one. And if you're on top of the production, you force base trade very easily there out of that Protoss. That's a nice catch here on the Zealots. Hydra Ling will deal with that. And we do see the Tempest transition start. Mothership coming in here. Changeling is still there, but is not in a good position to put down the Nidus. So he made the Nidus networks, but you need to use that. You cannot just make that, man. You're not that rich. Phoenix even killing that group of Hydras here. Is not enough Hydras to deal with this. And they will just lift them up and get rid of them. Now, big attack here on the front. There is no text, so we need to be a little bit careful that he doesn't lose these observers. But he has a couple of Tempests to start to poke away and everything here. He's gonna come in again with the Phoenix, gonna storm this. The Phoenix is gonna die from the Hydra shot there, not from the storm. Double storm there on the Lurkers. Lurkers need to move or they'll die, just like that. Oh, he lost vision. And then that's when he loses too. Another good storm here. Okay, so we've seen that. There's the Overlord. That's the attempt at that Nidus. But is there actually anything inside the Nidus? I don't think so. No. He has 2 Nidus networks and he never used them. He has a bunch of Lurkers which are defensive now. There's a double Nidus coming in. Not a good position if you ask me. He sees the photon cannon Morphin next to the Nidus networks. The Vipers just walk into their death. Oh my god, this is a disaster. So he's trying to grab everything and send it through the Nidus, but it's not a good place, as I said. This is like an open ground. It's easy to engage into. He had the mothership. He has the whole army come back. You need to be a little bit careful. You want to lift some of those lurkers. There we go. He's going to start that now. And just pop them onto the ground. I'm not sure if he sees all of them. Not really, but yeah, he sees 2 more and he just lifts what he can. He's gonna decimate everything. He only lost 7 probes. He lost basically the geyser income. And that's about it. There's another double Nidus, but there's nothing inside. There's nothing even to put inside. He has 70 army supply. It's 18 Hydras. If he was in the main, right? If he was in the main, top of the production, where he can kill the pylons, the gateways. Yeah, I think maybe some tech. Yeah, that could have been something. And now he's only bringing Hydras? I'm not sure if I like this. Honestly, as trigger, I would kill the Nidus network first and then cut off the retreat here. He's actually killing a base across the map. The Templar brave in front with the Stalker pair and pair. There's finally the Nidus in the main, but there's already so many units inside the main. It doesn't really matter. And it's only Hydras coming out. It's not a good composition, even though this is a good spot for Hydras. It's still not like it is a actual composition. It's only Hydras, bros. Only Hydras. And Tempests have a very good position here to shoot down all of these Hydras. And finally we do see a few Lings coming as well. Cham is trying his damnedest, but he has to give up. The victor goes to Trigger. Trigger brings it back here in the series. And we're looking at a 1-1 now. let's hop into that last game between these two. It's gonna be on Mothership, a 3-player map. They removed it for the next season. I have to say I'm a little bit sad. Need to check out the maps, by the way. Oh wait, we have a 4-player map. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh shit. Damn, we got a 4-player map. Damn, yeah. It's gonna be vetoed every single game. Every series. Okay. So here we go. Into game number 3, right? Alright guys, here we are in game number 3. It is Cham in the top right of Mothership and Trigger in the top left. Okay, so at Eternity's Edge is a 1-on-1 map, 10,000 feet. I'm gonna probably make just a video later on the maps, check them out. It's Celestial Enclave still, X-Arch, that's a 4-player map, Missing You Today, Necropolis, Old Republic, Rorschach. And Ruby Rock. It's a 1-1, so only one 4-player map. Interesting concept though, we're gonna go there. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna bring it back. I mean, one of the most famous ones would have been Whirlwind, right? Taldrim Altar, and there are a few very iconic 4-player maps, and a lot of people kind of like those. Lost Temple never really made it big in SC2, but what was that? Metropolis, right? Right? Yeah, you remember. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that later. We're gonna go for the Mothership cast here first. Okay, so let's have a look at the builds here. Nothing really out of the ordinary. That cybernetic score finishing up. We should see the Adept here start promptly, and then there's gonna be that Stargate. This could be a map for a Twilight Council as well. But Stargate has been the flavor of the month, has been the flavor of the year, has been the flavor of the decade, honestly. It's just too good in this matchup, and we will see that indeed. You will see the Twilight Council occasionally, like an Adept Glaive All-In or a Charge All-In. It is very rare. It's like, I'd say 1 in 10, you know, when you see it. Maybe 1 in 8 or something. Maybe a little bit more towards that Twilight, but it is very rare to see a Twilight Council first. Adept is gonna shake back here. Oracle about to be popping out. Third base ticket for both players. That's a very, very sharp timing there for Trigger. Some of the earliest third base timings you can get done. Let's see if he actually has the units to protect this. I'm not sure what you're skipping, like an Adept or something maybe? He doesn't have one right now. He has only that one Adept. He didn't lose one. So, oh, I guess he lost one. But yeah, he only has one Adept. And we see Cham surrounding the pylon. And the pylon is designed to keep this base safe. Lynx are gonna cancel another pylon here, but the oracles, they want to go in. I want to see what's going on. I want to snag a few drones here. So far in the series, in the games, Cham has lost quite a few drones to earlier attacks from oracles or adepts, not glaive adepts. This time it's only gonna be a couple, it seems. Maybe one more here. Actually, oh my god. That's 3 more. So again with the 5 drones, very kind of easily it seems. Oh, I think he might be overcommitting there with that one oracle. Oh, 13 health, he still gets away. He also scouts the forward base. That was a genius move there. And he snagged that drone. 4 adepts coming across the map. We do see, of course, Blink again behind this. Templar Archives and a Robo. Of course that... Excuse me, of course that +1 is also in the making here. The Fortress spinning. Oracle's coming in for an assist, but not gonna really find an angle or immediately pulling out again there. The queens are here. And the adepts have been trading against drones. Very beautiful adept movement here. Cham not really able to surround those in time. And the adepts do snag 6 drones in total. So again, 11 drones have been killed off before the 6-minute mark, which is quite impactful. That's a very good delay there on the economy. Storm starting up here. Let's see if he immediately goes into that robotic support as well, or if he sticks around just the normal robo for a while. Hydra upgrades on the way here, as well as the Hydras themselves. Drones are trying to run away, but the queens, they will also shoo away the oracles. They're just not powerful enough to chew through the oracle shield fast enough to keep the drones actually safe. Oh, Blink is not done yet. One has to pay the price. The other 2 do get away, and then they make it into a place where they can blink and defend themselves. So 1 does survive. I guess 2 do survive. And 1 had to pay. It's like the song, you know, where you start with 10 and then eventually you go down all the way to 1, because 1 is always kind of getting stuck somewhere. Stasis wards being set up defensively here, so Trigger is not really looking for a blink attack. He's already building into that super force army, which he's gonna have with High Templars, Storm, Immortals this time, interestingly enough, and Charge Lots, of course. So he's gonna have very few Stalkers with this composition, and that might be a little bit susceptible to air attacks, but I mean, Cham tried it last game, it didn't really work out, so maybe Trigger's kind of banking on the fact that air's not the greatest. Oh no, if he sees the drop, and he sees the drop, he even tags one of the Overlord. Oh god. It's a very big drop, it's Roach Hydra drop, but yeah. At the same time here, attacking the new base, the 4th base. Maybe a little bit too early there, runs into a storm, stands in a storm. Oh my god, he's eating so much damage from that storm. And now Stalker's trying to intercept, but the drop actually gets dropped, so the units do not make it into the main. The base here should be cancelled, but I doubt Trigger's gonna die. He has so much storm stacked up. His army is kind of flimsy, he's kind of small. He needs a couple more weapons, maybe. He does not have a front line, no zealots. He has a lot of Stalkers though, wow. Oh, we're gonna see that blink on top of the Overlords trying to come in here. He's not gonna blink in. So you will just carefully trade against these units. And at the same time we have the Storms trying to kill off that Roach force. So a very high DPS, low health army in the drop. And a high health, low DPS army here in that frontal attack. Now, Trigger's split seems to be correct. He doesn't have Templars in the main base, but the Stalkers seem to be enough there. And on the bottom he has the Immortals, he has the High Templars with Storm, so you can just chew through any Ling reinforcements. You can just eat up those roaches with the Immortals. And they are gonna have a delicious time. Cham, this might seesaw. Like, the army from Cham, look at how inefficient it is. It is insane. It's like half. That's how bad it is. And he lost a bunch of overlords, so he's actually quite low on free supply. Nexus finally starting up again. That's the only, I guess, point that went to Cham. He actually kept Trigger off 4 bases for a very long time. This is a past 10-minute 4th base. No, I mean, look at this base. It's not saturated. There's gonna be eventually drones transferring here to that location, but that's gonna take a while. Lurkers are here though for the defense. And Link's coming in again for another cancel. Now this might force Trigger to pull the trigger. He doesn't really have that much energy though on the High Templars, so I'm not sure if you really want to go for a base race at this moment. Though you have Templars, you don't really have the energy, so I wouldn't like it. I would look at this and I'm like, I only have 3 storms, so that's not that great actually. And he will transition into an air fleet now. So we're gonna see the Stargate, the fleet beacon. This might be carriers actually, but he doesn't really have the money, so I guess it's just gonna be the Tempest against these lurkers here. We still do have 1 Oracle, so tags are available. That's gonna be a very useful tool here in the toolkit. And this time Stalkers are gonna be in position to deal with these Lings here. No! Oh, the trap! Haha! What a nice blink. What a nice blink. Wow. That looked so perfect. That was crazy. Now, 4 lurkers being dropped here very soon. The Oracle is starting to attack these armies, but needs to be careful. He only has half health left. Trigger does see the overloads coming in here. He's gonna warp in a few Stalkers. He's kind of thinking, oh yeah, a bunch of Hydras, a bunch of Lings. Oh, okay, so there's a lurker inside. But that lurker didn't do anything. And this one as well. That was a very costly move from Cham that did not do anything. And Trigger has been flying in the past. Oh my god, look at this. It's literally more than double. Wow. He has killed so much and lost so little. He only lost 1 High Templar. And he finally lost the last Oracle. So the tags are gone. But he already killed 20 Roaches and 30 Hydras. Even 4 Lurkers have fallen down. We do see a Spire now to try and deal with that starting up Tempest army. After, of course, that was scouted out by the failed Lurker drop there. And yeah, you know at this point here as Cham, oh, this is just a poke, right? He's not trying to actually go in. Because, well, why would he? He has the Tempest on the way. He has the superior attack coming here very soon. Stalker's trying to run into the north, but there's Lurkers and Hydras greeting them, so they don't really find an opening. And you don't want to throw them away. You don't want to throw them away. Don't walk on top of Lurkers here, bro. Oh my god, so he's blinking on top of the Lurkers. He does have an Observer, so he will win that fight. Will he win the other fight as well? Seems like Storm is just gonna pull through. Does he even need the Tempest? I don't think so. He kills everything before. GG is called. And Trigger is gonna move on into the decider match here. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to subscribe, to like, to comment, and see you again in the next one. Peace.